Princess Elthara of Andromeda, known as the Untouchable Star, has rejected every alien suitor. The Andromeda Empire plans to test humans, a new and weak race from a small blue planet. One human man, Ethan Cole, is chosen as a diplomatic guest. Everyone expects fear, bowing, or begging. Ethan does not kneel, does not beg, and meets the princess's eyes. The hall grows tense. The princess senses something strange. No fear. No hunger for power. No hidden lies. Her guards prepare to kill him. Instead, she raises her hand and orders everyone to stand down. The audience is left wondering. Why did she stop them? What did she see in a human? Why does her heart beat faster? Andromeda nobles talk badly about humans. Short lives. Weak bodies. No psychic power. Ethan calmly explains Earth. Humans fight not because they are strong, but because they refuse to surrender. He tells stories of Earth wars, sacrifices, and hope. The princess listens in silence. She realizes humans survive without advanced gifts. They rely on will, loyalty, and love. The princess orders Ethan to join a danger trial meant to kill him. Alien warriors fail. Ethan succeeds using simple tools, clever thinking, self-sacrifice to save others. He is injured but refuses medical help until others are safe. This shocks everyone. Welcome to my channel Sci-Fi Love Story. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. The Royal Hall of Andromeda floated in silence. It was not a normal silence. It was the kind that pressed against the chest, heavy and cold, as if the stars themselves were holding their breath. The ceiling above was made of living crystal, glowing softly with the light of distant galaxies. Tall pillars shaped like frozen flames lined the hall, each one carved with the history of 1,000 conquered worlds. At the far end of the hall sat the throne, and upon it sat Princess Elthara of Andromeda. She was known across the galaxy by many names. The Starborn Heir, the Untouchable Princess, the one who never chose. Her skin shimmered like silver under starlight. Her eyes were not one color but many, shifting slowly like nebula clouds. She wore no crown because she did not need one. Her presence alone was enough to make kings lower their heads. Around her stood nobles, generals, and psychic elders of the Andromeda Empire. Each of them waited for the same thing: the arrival of a human. Humans were new to the galactic stage. A small species from a blue planet called Earth, short-lived. No natural psychic power, weak bodies, loud emotions. Most empires ignored them. Andromeda did not. "They are insects," one noble whispered. "Why bring one here?" "To observe," replied another, "to judge." Princess Elthara did not speak. Her fingers rested calmly on the arm of her throne, but her thoughts were not calm. Something unseen tugged at her awareness, like a distant echo calling her name. Then the great doors opened. They did not explode open with force. They slid apart smoothly, revealing a single figure standing alone at the entrance. A human man. He was smaller than the Andromeda guards. His clothes were simple, dark, and worn. No armor, no visible weapons. His brown hair was cut short. His face showed signs of long travel and quiet exhaustion. This was Ethan Cole of Earth. He took one step forward. The hall reacted instantly. Guards raised energy spears. Psychic pressure filled the air, pushing down like invisible hands. Any normal creature would have fallen to their knees. Ethan did not. He stopped walking, but he did not bow. He did not kneel. He did not look at the floor. Slowly, calmly, he lifted his head. And he looked directly at Princess Elthara. A wave of anger rushed through the nobles. "How dare he?" someone hissed. "He does not know his place." Execute him. The psychic elders focused their minds. The pressure increased. Stone cracked beneath Ethan's boots. Still he stood. His heart was racing, but his face remained steady. Fear existed inside him, but it did not control him. He had seen fear before. On Earth, fear walked beside humans every day. Princess Elthara felt something strange. The human's mind was open. Not unguarded. Not foolish. But honest. There was no hunger for power inside him, no desire to dominate, no hidden schemes twisting beneath his thoughts, only determination and concern. Concern not for himself, but for others. She raised her hand. At once the psychic pressure vanished. The guards froze. "Stand down," she said. Her voice was soft, yet it echoed through the hall like thunder. Ethan exhaled slowly. He did not realize he had been holding his breath. "You may speak human," the princess said. Ethan swallowed, then nodded once. "My name is Ethan Cole. I am here as a representative of Earth, not as a ruler, not as a warrior, just a man." The nobles laughed. "Just a man," one mocked. "Then you are nothing." Ethan did not argue. He did not shout. He simply answered, "On Earth, being just a man is enough." That answer caused a ripple through the hall. Princess Elthara leaned forward slightly. "Explain." Ethan looked around the room, meeting alien eyes without challenge or submission. "Humans are not strong like you. We do not live long. We do not hear thoughts or bend stars, but we survive." "Why?" the princess asked. "Because when we fall," Ethan said, "we stand back up. Because when we lose, we remember. And because when someone stands beside us, we do not abandon them." The hall grew quiet again. The princess felt it now. That tugging sensation grew stronger. The ancient instincts of her blood whispered warnings and curiosity at the same time. "Words are easy," said a general. "Prove your worth." Princess Elthara raised her hand again. "Very well. Human Ethan Cole, you will face a trial." Ethan nodded. "I expected that." The nobles smiled cruelly. The trial chamber lay deep beneath the palace. A shifting maze of metal, energy fields, and living creatures designed to test even elite Andromeda warriors. Ethan was given no weapon, no armor. When the doors sealed behind him, darkness swallowed the chamber. A low growl echoed. Ethan moved slowly, feeling the ground with his hands. He listened, counted breaths, measured distance. When a beast charged, he did not run blindly. He waited until the last moment, then rolled aside, using debris to trap the creature's leg. Later he found other contestants, alien warriors injured and trapped. He could have passed them. He could have escaped alone. Instead he stopped. He tore pieces from his own clothing to bind their wounds. He shared his limited water. He stayed until they could move. From above, Princess Elthara watched everything. "Why does he slow himself?" a noble asked. She did not answer. When Ethan finally reached the final gate, his body was bleeding. His breath was rough, but his eyes remained focused. The gate opened. He collapsed to one knee, not in surrender but from exhaustion. Medics rushed forward. "Treat them first," Ethan said weakly, pointing behind him. "They're worse than me." Princess Elthara stood. The hall went silent as she descended from her throne and walked toward him. She stopped in front of Ethan. For a long moment, they looked at each other. "You could have left them," she said. "Yes," Ethan replied. "Why didn't you?" "Because I wouldn't want to be left behind." Something ancient stirred inside the princess's heart. That night she watched him from afar, how he thanked servants, how he apologized for causing trouble, how he laughed quietly despite pain. This human was dangerous, not because of strength, but because of what he could change. The next day, she summoned him privately. The doors closed. No guards, no nobles. Only stars beyond the window. Human Ethan Cole, she said softly, you do not kneel, you do not lie, you do not abandon others. Ethan shifted uncomfortably. I just try to do what feels right. The princess stepped closer. Ancient laws awakened within her blood, laws older than empires. She spoke words no Andromeda had spoken in centuries. Then hear me, she said. She looked into his eyes and said, will you take me as your husband? Ethan froze. The stars outside seemed to stop moving. The doors burst open. Guards shouted, nobles screamed. And the galaxy took its first step toward change. The royal chamber shook with noise. Alien nobles shouted in rage. Guards rushed forward with weapons glowing bright blue. Psychic pressure returned to the air, heavier than before. The proposal had broken something ancient, something sacred. Ethan Cole stood frozen. His mind struggled to catch up with what had just happened. Marriage. A princess of Andromeda had just asked a human man to become her husband. Seize him, someone screamed. Energy spears aimed at Ethan's chest. Before anyone could move, Princess Elthara raised both hands. Enough. Her voice was calm, but it carried absolute command. The guards stopped instantly. Even the psychic elders fell silent. She turned toward Ethan. You have not answered, she said. Ethan swallowed. His heart beat like a war drum, but he forced himself to think clearly. He had been chosen to represent Earth, not himself. Slowly he spoke. If I accept, Ethan said, what happens to my people? The room grew quiet. Princess Elthara studied him carefully. Explain. Humans are weak compared to you, Ethan said honestly. If this marriage becomes real, other empires will not attack you. They will attack us. Earth will suffer. The nobles laughed again. See, one sneered. Even he knows his people are nothing. The princess did not look away from Ethan. And if I protect Earth? Words won't stop fleets, Ethan replied. Something flickered in her eyes. Then I will not use words, she said. She turned to the nobles. From this moment, Princess Elthara declared, Earth is under Andromeda protection. The chamber exploded with anger. This is madness. You would risk war for a human. You would break the balance of the galaxy. The princess stood tall. Yes, she said simply. That single word echoed louder than any scream. News traveled faster than light. Across the galaxy, empires reacted with fear and hatred. The Andromeda Empire had not chosen a side in centuries. Now it stood beside humanity. Many rulers saw it as weakness. They were wrong. On Earth, the message arrived with static and disbelief. A human diplomat marrying an alien princess, protection from a god-level empire. World leaders argued, generals prepared, citizens panicked. Ethan was brought back to Earth under Andromeda escort. He stood before human leaders, tired but steady. She is serious, Ethan told them, but this will bring war. How can we fight? One general asked. Our ships are outdated. Our weapons barely scratch alien armor. Ethan looked around the room. We don't fight like them. Then how do we fight? Another asked. Ethan remembered the trial, the maze, the creatures, the choices. We fight like humans, he said. The enemy struck sooner than expected. A coalition of alien empires launched an attack on Earth's outer colonies. Their ships were massive. Their weapons burned through space like fire. Human fleets moved to intercept. They were smaller, slower, outmatched. But they did not retreat. Human ships did not fly in perfect formations. They scattered. They hid behind asteroids. They shut down systems to appear dead, then ambushed from the dark. They used old tricks, dirty tricks, brave tricks. They hacked enemy targeting systems. They sacrificed unmanned ships to protect cities. They rammed larger vessels when weapons failed. The galaxy watched in shock. Humans were losing ships, but they were winning time. Princess Ilthara watched the battles from the Andromeda command chamber. Her hands trembled as she saw human ships explode. "They are dying for each other," she whispered. "Yes," replied an elder, "they always have." She turned to the council. "Prepare the Andromeda fleet." Silence fell. "You will bring total war," a noble warned. She looked at the stars. They already did. Ethan returned to the front lines, not as royalty, but as a human. He wore simple armor. He flew in a command ship barely holding together. He refused special protection. "This is where I belong," he said. During one battle, an enemy fleet broke through toward Earth itself. Andromeda reinforcements were still hours away. Ethan made a decision. He ordered his ship forward. "This is a one-way mission," his pilot said. "I know," Ethan replied. They charged straight into the enemy formation. Human ships followed without hesitation. They did not expect to survive. They expected to buy time. The enemy flagship locked weapons onto Ethan's ship. Before it could fire, space itself bent. Andromeda warships arrived. Golden light filled the battlefield. Enemy fleets panicked. They had never faced Andromeda directly. Princess Ilthara stood aboard the lead ship, wearing battle armor instead of royal silk. Her voice echoed across all channels. "Any who attack humanity," she said, "attack Andromeda." The battle ended quickly. But the war did not. The final enemy alliance gathered everything they had for one last strike. Thousands of ships, planet-breaking weapons. Humans and Andromeda stood together. Ethan met Princess Ilthara before the battle. "You don't have to do this," he said. She stepped closer. "I choose this." "What if I die?" Ethan asked quietly. She placed her hand over his heart. "Then I will remember you until the stars fade." Ethan smiled sadly. "That's a very long time." The final battle was chaos. Human ships fought alongside Andromeda giants. Humans filled the gaps. They protected damaged allies. They boarded enemy ships when ammo ran out. Ethan led a strike team deep into the enemy command ship. Explosions shook the corridors. They reached the core. The only way to destroy it was manual overload. Ethan knew what that meant. He locked the door behind him. "This is Ethan Cole," he said over the channel. "Tell Earth we stood." Princess Ilthara screamed his name. The explosion never came. Andromeda forces breached the ship just in time. Ethan was pulled from the chamber, unconscious but alive. The enemy fleet fell apart. The war was over. Ethan woke to starlight. Princess Ilthara sat beside him. "You did not die," she said softly. "Disappointing," he joked weakly. She smiled a rare, real smile. The marriage was not a political show. It was simple. No grand throne, no massive crowd. A human man and an alien princess stood together under the stars. The galaxy watched, not with fear, but with respect. Humans were no longer insects. They were allies. They were family. And history recorded the truth. The day humanity stood its ground, a princess stood with them. And